My film is completely from the, my research and filmmaking activities around the Baul Fakirs for the last 7 years. Yeah. So it's a sociological phenomenon. It's a sociological factor, a traditional knowledge with which I'm working. So it is in my environment. It's part of me. It's part of my life. It's part of your life, which is there on screen. So in terms of the just the cinematic palette, so in terms of the market palette of cinema, maybe it looks a bit out of place. But in the palette of life which we lead close by, it is completely in context. We are living in times where developing resources, becoming richer, uh, materially improving our condition. There's a tremendous pressure. The entire system is geared for that. People have voted for that. You know, everybody feels of becoming rich, becoming more empowered economically. Whatever, blah blah blah. This development. This. I don't know they call it aspiration, but I feel most of it is greed. You know. And what has happened is that India has been traditionally called a country of the poor. We have poverty, we are poor, And over the years, we have developed a hatred for poverty. We look at it, obviously, great, we should look down upon poverty. But poverty has begun to mean as so many negative things. Poverty, but under poverty, we have defined so many lifestyles. There could be people, India is a very ancient country, there could be people who have a philosophy of life with nature where they don't use much resources. But they're very happy. But you would call them poor.
Yeah.
Because they are not, So therefore, it is in this poverty and the lower, whatever caste or whatever lower, I discovered the entire philosophy of how they lead, one section of it leads life. যেটাকে আমরা বেঙ্গলিতে আমরা দেহতত্ত্ব বলে ইয়ে করি। দেহতত্ত্বতে কি না আমাদের দেশে দেহতত্ত্বতে আমি কিভাবে ইসেনশিয়ালি রিলেট করতে পেরেছি, আমি তো আরবান লোক, তো আমার पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू আমি কিভাবে এটার সাথে रिलेट করছি, लाइक हमारे देश में तो ये हवा, हमारे यहाँ के हवा में तो ये बहुत प्रचलित है कि ये जगत पूरा माया है और इसके चक्कर में आप जितना भी घूमोगे इसका कोई अंत नहीं है, इट नेवर फिनिशेस एंड यू आर नेवर फुलफिल्ड। So it's like a puzzle. It's like a never-ending puzzle. মানে একটা জিনিস ডিজায়ার করলে ওটা পেলে আরেকটা ডিজায়ার শুরু হলো, মানে it's a constant maze of desires and trying to fulfill it and not succeeding. দুঃখ, কষ্ট, whatever. And our forefathers had thought that we can get out of this Mayajal, Maya Chakkar. We can get out of it. A human being can get out of it. And defeat this entire cycle of life, so to speak, And such people were called sadhus.
Yeah.
Who wanted to take a ascetic view, who want to deny the material, and think of the spiritual, They come to the poverty line, right? But their logic was, if you want to come out of this Maya, there is no use of chanting mantras and having idols and all this theatre, huge organized religion theatre, right? The whole thing is that your body, as they see, as the poor people whose philosophy I'm talking about, they see it as that the most prominent impulse or energy in your body is a sexual energy, yeah? And they say that if you notice the flow of your sexual energy, it's outwards. Right? So you get attracted to something out, you have coitus, ejaculation, something out, children, marriage. The whole sexual flow is programmed like that. Right? So they say that however intellectualizing you do, unless you reverse the flow of this main impulse in your body, which is the sexual flow, make it run back to the source. Not from the source into multiplicity. Take it back to the source. You know. So naturally, so they start with the semen. So, I believe that that is where the first act of conservation starts.
Right.
With spirituality. Yeah. So there is a theatre of poverty, so to speak, which has got to do with our lives and values, which I am trying to do, which I am trying to at this point of time when everybody is running towards, I wanted to, as a to create a play, because the force is absolutely unilateral now. There is no opposite, there is no dissent, there is no a contrary thought, you know. So I thought, I felt the urge to bring this thought to the table and bring it into play with this. When I was making Bishar Blues, it was a documentary where I was, this was ethnic, socio kind of a trip, and I learnt a lot, and I had hundreds of hours of interviews of people. And after going through that, I did realize that the sexuality, the control of sexuality is the main thing, which nobody talks about clearly. Right? Because over the ages when people have spoken about it, they have been trashed and they have been marginalized. Right? So there's a fear of talking about it. This knowledge is supposed to be hidden. So even in Bishar Blues, there is no open dialogue like this. I wanted to discuss it, bring it out completely into the open.
So do you say that this film Cosmics is a complementary to the Bishar Blues?
No, it's an evolution. It's traditional knowledge which is very, very long, complex, and takes a lot of years to understand and develop a relationship with it, with my modernity.